this recent unexpected diagnosis. At no point in time did I actually claim sickness and accept sickness. Literally, like.
Hello, beloveds. You're going to meet Nicole in just a moment, but I just wanted to hop on first to say this. She has an amazing story. And this is an impromptu video that you're going to watch in just a moment. She's going to talk to us about her healing journey. And I just wanted to say how important it is for us to really trust, lean into our faith, and know that God has all the answers. Let's listen. I'm really excited, as you'll be able to see in just a moment. Everything was clicking with us. We just started, after the consultation I had with her, just started chatting, and oh my gosh, I said, you must share.
Hello, beloveds. I have a special guest. She actually is becoming my new client, my new sister-like client. I say that, and I'm supposed to be semi-retired, but there's something special about this young woman.
Oh, thank you.
She, first of all, was my student in one of my classes 2 years ago. Yes, as I was teaching a class, I was a senior trainer for Sister Locks. And we were talking as I was going through a consultation with her about various things. And I began to share with her the thing I'm doing with 3 Trees Serenity Space. And as you know, I've shared many times that 3 Trees addresses mind, body, and spirit. Okay. This young lady, Nicole, has gone through a healing challenge that caught my ears, and I thought, I've got to share this with you all. And Nicole, it's just amazing to me, your journey. And while I don't want to take up much of your time this afternoon, I would like for you, though, to talk a little bit about what it's like and what it means to, number one, trust God, and to stay in the flow. But you have to get quiet to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have to get quiet. You must listen. And you must trust your intuition, which is God's guidance system, right?
Yes, absolutely.
What was it, Nicole, that caused you to, let's start from the top, that caused you to quit your job?
Okay.
And for a year and a half,
almost 2
years, you went on a healing journey, yes?
Yes, absolutely.
Share with me what that was like.
Yeah, sure. So, I'm looking out here.
You can talk to me and talk to the beloveds.
Hello, beloveds. I, first and foremost, am just like super, nothing happens by chance.
We know that.
All
absolutely.
by just divine orchestration.
That's
just to
true.
be sitting in this chair with you right now is not by chance. And so I'm so thankful for this opportunity right now to be with you and also with others. I actually have taught since 2008, passionate teacher, science, most recently to middle schoolers. And one day while teaching, and this is coming right off of the heels of a school year where I was coaching girls basketball. I also coached football. I was teacher of the year. I was also honored by the Dallas Mavericks. And so I was, in full swing just as a teacher, super busy, but loving what I do. And one day in class, I just suddenly just felt this kind of weird out of body feeling. My students told me it lasted maybe about 10 seconds. But
what happened exactly?
I just had this it felt like a panic anxiety attack, but I wasn't dealing with any stress. So in that moment.
Okay.
But while teaching and speaking to my students, I just couldn't articulate anything. I just had this moment I froze, and
could you breathe?
I could breathe, but I just remember my heart racing so fast.
Okay.
Almost like my heart felt like it was like in my throat.
Okay.
Like it was just, all I could feel was like my heart just racing. And then I remember my students asking me. I remember when I kind of snapped out of it, looking at my students, and they were like, "What just happened?"
Beloveds, if you like this video, would you please give it a thumbs up and then consider subscribing? Thank you.
So I asked them, like, I don't know what did happen. And they said, I just looked like I stopped talking and I just kind of like glazed over my eyes. I was just staring for about 10 seconds or so. I told my administration, something's going on. I'm not sure what's happening. Went to the doctor. I also started experiencing very quickly after that incident a lot of hand tremors. So I actually have videos of where I'm like, it almost felt like my eyes were just playing tricks on me because my hand would just like tremor super fast. And then I started any kind of fine motor skills. So putting eyeliner on or buttoning up my clothing. I just started like struggling to do those fine motor skills or use fine motor skills. And so I made just the decision in the moment of like health first. When I went to an endocrinologist after doing a lot of blood work, at first I thought I had lupus.
Okay.
Based on some blood work, went to an endocrinologist, another one, and he was like, nope, you have hyperthyroidism, advanced stages. That was categorized as Graves' disease.
Oh, wow.
And so some of my numbers, like I shared with you, were, off the charts. Some doctors, I went to a total of 3 endocrinologists, one of which, my uncle's a surgeon. He put me in touch with like one of the top endocrinologists in the East Coast, who's been practicing for almost like over 3 decades. And she also looked at my blood work and was like, you've got to either remove your thyroid.
Now, this is the amazing part because these doctors told her all these things she must do to be healthy again.
They gave me 3 options: removal of my thyroid, also for me do radioactive iodine treatment. That was my second one. I think it's underneath there. And then the third option was to take medication to suppress the thyroid. And so in the, just with the 3 options that I had, I definitely, without warning, just was faced with a major decision. And according to the doctors, I had 3 options. And I really just kind of sat with it. But at no point in time in sitting with this recent unexpected diagnosis, at no point in time did I actually claim sickness and accept sickness. Literally, like my mom, my dad, my support system, my siblings, they can all attest to the fact that although I had that diagnosis, although I'm sitting with 3 endocrinologists with a 4th one for a 4th opinion, at no point in time did I actually accept the diagnosis.
Okay.
My mom can tell you that.
Now,
I told
tell
her
me
no.
this. Because most people would take all the information they receive from the professionals, from the doctors, and run with that.
Yeah.
What was it in you that made you decide, I'm not going to do this?
I knew I've been so intentional in my life. Intentionality is like an overused, exhaustive word in my vocabulary. And so I was like, man, I'm always so intentional. And so I realized that the situation I was confronted with was not by chance. It was an indication that there was some kind of an imbalance in my life. And it didn't necessarily only mean that it was a health imbalance. And so I was like, I got to make a couple changes.
Okay.
And so I was sharing, I never accepted the diagnosis. I just knew that it was an indication. Intuitively.
Yes.
And so from literally day one, I told my folks, like, here's this diagnosis. I want you guys to know, especially since, I'm having these because I was also given heart medication. I was given prescriptions that I was filling, but never took a pill, tablet. So they asked me which of the 3 options.
Okay.
I was saying I might consider the the medication to suppress the thyroid, but I never actually
never
considered
took
it.
any
No,
meds?
never took meds, never anything.
What was the first thing you did, Nicole, to set you on the path to healing yourself and trusting the Creator?
Yeah, well, I realized that I was possibly like not in alignment and not in flow
Yes.
with everything that was happening around. I just decided like I need to pause. I need to be still.
Be still.
And it's in the stillness that I actually heard and received, you got to leave your job. And I was like,
but it was in the stillness.
Yeah.
It's in the stillness.
It's in the stillness.
Okay, go
absolutely.
ahead.
And so I like I said, didn't accept really anything. I knew that I needed to pay attention to internally, what's going on internally, and also what's happening around me. So I removed a lot of distractions, stressors. You know, we have good stress and bad stress.
Yes.
Even the eustress, known as good stress.
Right.
I removed all of that. My job, I was
some chronic stress you had to get rid of. Acute stress, we know it's going to happen, but the chronic, everyday stuff,
everyday grind,
you got rid of it.
I was doing 12 and 13 hours.
Does that make sense?
Not at all. Zero sense.
Get rid of that, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you got rid of the stressors.
Got rid of the stressors.
The chronic stress. Okay, what else did you do?
And then I started just really taking inventory of like, what's happening internally.
Yes.
And so without me just gauging and judging, obviously blood work was off, but I asked for holistically, like, give me everything.
Give you everything. Okay, now
all
you
but
have
panels.
to talk about, once you start to receive all this information, you had to create a place to put it. What did you do?
So I created this journal. It was my healing journal. It was a blue journal, actually.
Okay.
With gold writing. So I had this journal.
We were talking about the color blue.
Exactly. I had this journal, and I remember I did blood work that was like maybe 10 pages in fine print of every indicator in your body, from your, every vitamin, mineral, what you're deficient in, how everything is working. And so I had this like full, just raw data, essentially.
Yes.
And it's internally that I was like, wait a minute. I can put 2 and 2 together. I can subtract 2 from 4 and get 2 at the end. I was inclined to start really just listening also in the stillness to the voice that was telling me, you are more than capable of actually looking at your own blood work. You want a 4th opinion now. I have an opinion that really matters, and it's your opinion of how you view yourself in this moment, in this situation. And so I taught science at that time. When I left, I was teaching chemistry and biology.
Yeah, everybody needs to hear that.
I sat down with pages and pages of blood work, and I just turned it into a student. I was researching daily. I remember I would go to the coffee shop up the street. I told you I love coffee shops.
She loves coffee shops.
I would spend hours just researching every single indicator from my blood work.
Yeah.
And better understanding what foods I need to consume, what things I need to kind of lay off of. And so for 1.5 years, I was just very intentional about what I was putting in my body, in my mouth, through my eyes, through my ears, the conversations, the energy, the people around me. And I just really, in that season, it was about trusting myself, trusting, God and my intuition.
Yes.
And in 1 year, financially, everything kind of fell into place. Not kind of, everything fell into place. I'm a marketer, and so I was getting like clients reaching out to me. It got to a point where I honestly, Miss Gretchel, I had to tell folks like I don't have the capacity. But I was
you did not miss a beat in terms of your finances.
Not a beat. Everything's taken care of.
Because the Creator had all that set
orchestrated for me.
All you had to do was listen.
I had to listen.
But you had to get quiet to do that.
I had to get quiet. And so I'm proud to report that
let's tell the people.
In February, I did my first round of blood work, and doctors were like, wait a minute, like, let's do another round. So I did another round in February.
I love this, that they couldn't believe it.
Couldn't believe it.
Okay.
And then just in September of this year, also, I did like, okay, let's wait a couple months, do it again. And now this is 3 times, truly a charm, that I am 100% healed. My numbers don't make sense to them still. And so everything is back in balance.
One doctor said to you that in all of her 33 years of practice as a doctor, she has never
And she's a top endocrinologist in the East.
And she said never has she seen anything reverse.
Never. Not naturally. Never. Like unheard of.
Well, you know, everybody's on a journey.
Yeah.
This is so inspirational. I had to share it with everybody because sometimes we don't trust. We know that we're not on the planet by happenstance, yet we don't just automatically tend to trust.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
the bottom line is God is omnipotent,
Yeah.
omnipresent,
Yeah.
omniscient, everywhere present, all the time, all knowing, and we must trust.
Trust.
First of all, the body heals itself. Doctors just support that healing, right?
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
And the body is so masterfully designed
So masterfully.
that it does have the power to heal.
Yeah. And it does all the time.
Yes. It's a
Nicole,
pleasure
thank
sharing
you.
with you all.
Thank you so much. And
Thank you.
beloveds, thank you so much for being here. And through it all, be gentle with yourself. And always remember to pray and meditate before you go out to meet the world. Bye for now.
See you. Thank you.
Wasn't she amazing? Thanks for watching.